Ground. Cheetah 3, taxi 1 charge Cheetah with Alpha. Moasagine.
Cheetah 3, cleared around Alpha Moasagine, squawk 4536, 15 left, taxi Alpha.
15 left via Alpha, 4536, Cheetah 3.
Keep the landing and taxi light off during daylight operations. Give the crew chief the run it up signal. Clear forward and aft before advancing throttles, no more than 80%. Check nose wheel steering and brakes taxiing out of the parking spot. Reduce the throttles to idle prior to making the turn. Taxi speed should be 10 knots or less in congested areas or when making max deflection turns. Don't taxi faster than 25 knots otherwise. Don't drag the brakes. Check your flight instruments. VVI and HUD, MFD, and standbys read 0. Airspeed and HUD, MFD, and standby match and read correctly. EADI and standby set correctly. Altimeters within 75 feet of known elevation in HUD, MFD, and standbys. EHSI matches within 8 degrees of mag compass and 5 degrees of known heading. Side slip indicator and EHSI indicates properly in the turn. If relying on ILS, check frequency, identifier, and course, and verify glide slope and correct CDI displacement. Check the TACAN or VFR DME. Check frequency and identifier. Verify proper bearing, CDI displacement, and to from operation. Verify range within half nautical mile or 3%, and bearing within 4 degrees of a ground checkpoint or a co-located radio nav aid. If conducting RNAV operations, verify ICAO database accuracy, present position, GPSC code, blended IGI solution, and IGI accuracy. Note, RNAV en route ops are permitted on an INS only solution provided it received a full alignment with an accuracy of 7 or better. Verify the clock, time of day. If taxiing behind another aircraft inside 150 feet spacing, lower and lock the canopy. In this case, set the cabin pressure to ram dump and validate ambient cabin pressure before unlocking the canopy again. Then reset the cabin pressure switch to cabin press. Do not taxi behind a T1 in the EOR and provide at least one space between a T38 and a T1 in the EOR.
Okay, good right hand turn. Nav aids check, emergency return. What is unrestricted, we'll come back to the pattern. Everything's at standard as briefed. That's good. Speeds, we got 131, 165, that's set. That'll be according to the standards. We have any UPs. Questions?
Nope.
Set. Okay, we got DHK set, we got 084, 040 on the heading. 1099, 116.8 set. So, you ready to go?
Yep.
As a technique, many of these items can be accomplished on the taxi out to the EOR. If unable to maintain aircraft control and accomplish the checks, just wait until the EOR. Review and update your told. Key numbers are decision speed, CFL, max, BEO, EF, and CTOS. Ensure the go-no-go speeds and CTOS are bugged. Check the battery on. Call out battery on, go-no-go CTOS. Rear cockpit will confirm told. Set the cabin temp and defog to full cold, unless preheating the canopy. Keep the engine anti-ice off unless performing a takeoff with a density altitude less than minus 1,000. Recheck loose items stowed and visor down. Recheck your flight controls. Using smooth flight control inputs, visually check ailerons, horizontal stab, and rudders move freely and displace to correct position. Ensure rudders and ailerons return to the neutral position after the check. The rear cockpit should check flight controls as well. Verify takeoff trim is in the green. Ensure your avionics are set up for departure. A common technique is to run through the NEWS acronym. N, NAVAID set for departure. E, emergency return game plan reviewed. W, weather, ceiling viz winds assessed. G, go-no-go speeds and game plan reviewed. Recheck that your seat and canopy pins are removed. Call out 2 pins stowed. Rear cockpit will call out 2 pins stowed. Set the position light to bright and landing light on.
Okay, VP's clear.
Clear.
Okay, free and correct. Turns into green, speed brake centered up, flaps are 60, batteries on. And you ready for the aircraft?
Right there.
You ready for
Have the aircraft. VD's clear. Okay, flight control check. Free and correct. Ailerons are all centered up. You said speed brake is already centered up. Trims in the green, and you have the aircraft.